Your new key fob can lock and unlock the doors, but the car won't start. You followed the instructions, so you want to know. What went wrong? The answer is simple. You can't program the engine part of the key yourself. Those instructions in the owner's manual for cycling the ignition are only for the remote door locks. That process has no connection to the security chip that lets the engine run. Here's the reason. Your key actually holds two completely separate computer systems. It's like having two different keys welded together. One is the remote for your doors. It has a battery and sends a radio signal at 315 or 433 megahertz. That's the part you successfully programmed. The second system is the reason your car won't start. It's a tiny security chip, often made of glass or ceramic, embedded right in the plastic of the keyhead. This is the engine immobilizer transponder. This chip has no battery. When you put the key in the ignition, a ring around the lock cylinder sends out a magnetic field that powers the chip up for just a second. The chip then broadcasts its unique secret password back to the car on a completely different frequency, a low-power 125 kilohertz signal. This is an RFID system, just like the security tags at a store. Your car's main computer, often the body control module, is waiting for that exact password. The chip inside your key may be a specific type like a 4D67 or an ID46, has a permanent hexadecimal code. If your new key has the wrong kind of chip, or if its unique code hasn't been digitally added to the car's approved list, the security system works perfectly. It shuts down the fuel or ignition to prevent a theft. And for push-to-start smart keys, the security is even more complex, requiring a low-frequency handshake that also can't be programmed at home. To get the engine to start, here's what you need to do. First, confirm you have the right key. The replacement fob must contain the correct type of transponder chip for your exact year and model. If you bought a key with a 40D67 chip, but your car needs an ID46, it will never work. An automotive locksmith has a tool that can read the chip in your key and tell you if it's the right one in seconds. Next, check if your vehicle has a special self-programming option. This is rare, but some older systems, like Ford's PATS, let you add a third key if you already have two original working keys. The process usually involves cycling the two old keys in the ignition first, which puts the car into a learning mode before you insert the new key. But if you only have one key or no keys, this procedure is impossible. The most common solution, and the one that's almost always required, is to have a professional program the car to accept the new key. This is done with an advanced bidirectional scan tool, like one from Autel or X-Tool, not a simple code reader from a parts store. A technician or locksmith plugs this tool into your car's diagnostic port. They use it to log into the vehicle's body control module, which often requires a special security PIN code from the manufacturer to gain access. Once inside, the tool allows them to add the new key's unique RFID code to the car's memory. It's important to understand this. They are teaching the car to trust the new key. You are not programming the key itself. Ignoring this step means you'll have a key that only works on the doors, but will never start the engine. The car must be professionally programmed to recognize that new key. So before you return the fob, call an automotive locksmith to get it paired the right way.